I don't even know where to begin for this video. No pleasant greeting. I had made this video, or made a similar video, 20 minutes long, and before I even got to edit it, I got some more news about the situation and how it's kind of unfolding, and this just isn't a good situation. Of course, there's going to be some drama, right? It's not the be-all end-all of the world, so I don't want to be over dramatic. It's just not a nice situation that's transpired here. So when I don't know what's going to happen or where it's going to go from here, I hope everything's going to be resolved, but I really doubt it. So Mattis Max. So as you know, we've been planning, or they've been planning the 646 server for a very long time. And Max and Runs were two of the main people spearheading the entire 646 Vex of the Fallen. Right, so if you know any of the drama that happened with 649 after Onin was like, hey guys, I'm too busy with work, and then he stepped down, gave Divi High King, and then there was the whole civil war. They ended up moving into one alliance. Well, I mean, Max was all, he was all involved in that, but Max is, I've featured him on the I featured him on the YouTube channel so many times. I mean, one of my very first builds was from Hosk, and even though Max wasn't involved in talking in that video, that was 100% his build. Like, him and I worked on my lineups in season 2, and him and I did a few Discord calls together and everything like that. He's a super charismatic guy. He was always super nice to me on the phone. So, it's just basically what happened was the day of migration happened. The day migration was going to happen. Now, I live in the West Coast, right? So think of like Los Angeles. That's my time zone. So for me, reset happens at 1700 hours. So at 5 o'clock, right at dinner time, is when the server does its reset flip. So for me, it's the exact same day that reset happens. It's not the next day, right? For other people, it's the next day because of the different time zones. So this was several hours before that. Max just came out of the blue and just had a meltdown. It was just like it was a short paragraph, but it was like, good luck with everything, like good luck with 646, if you don't have the backing of 649. So that happened, and we're like, okay, what do you mean by this? And then basically Max went full silence. He stopped talking to anyone but Divi, and then Max and Divi had a 3-hour phone call together. And like I then reached out to Max before I went to bed, and I was like, hey man, like hopefully everything's okay, like, and he wrote to me and he was like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I'll be migrating tomorrow. I'm like, okay, sweet, everything's gonna work out, right? Everything's gonna be good. And so as you can see, Max is still in 649. Azazel, Lamb, Bardos, and Lesso. So I don't know if Lesso is going to be coming or not now. I thought Lesso was coming, but it looks like those are the main 3 that are in Max's camp that are going to be going somewhere else. Okay, so this kind of hit us like a like a brick, because Max has been planning 646, like we've been planning this for 2 months, and like a few hours before migration happens, he just has a meltdown. My understanding of the whole situation, and it's very skewed, like all I can talk about is my lack of wisdom, my lack of knowledge, all that kind of stuff here. But from my understanding, what it started all this is, it's not like one big thing happened. It's a bunch of little things, stacked on top of each other. And apparently Max just got frustrated. You know how like you have a sibling and you're going for a long car ride and they just start poking you, and they just start poking you, and like a poke doesn't hurt, but after a while it'll cause a bruise, and then you get annoyed, and then you have a major blowout, and it's like all I did was poke you. Like it's not that big of a deal. Um, but it's that constant poking. So from that's my understanding is Max just got fed up with runs and then had this big blowout. Which okay, we could talk about it, we could deal with it, but there's more to it now. That's what I was kind of making the video about earlier, and now it just doesn't make sense to me at all. So I don't want to disparage anyone, like, haha, you know, 646 is doing terrible. I mean, this looks ghastly. We haven't fixed this yet, but we're still going strong. We got 135 players now. We're at 4.5 billion. So we have people trading. Divi is hiking right now, which is fantastic. We've got Ronan in here, so we've got a bunch of really good players. Mila, runs. I talked to Cry earlier. I've had a couple phone calls with Cobart there, so we are doing great. I even had a call with Zeno. We had a big management call this afternoon for about 2 hours. So things are going great. Management, like here, there's no drama. Like inside the server right now, all our players seem to be getting along very well, and we have players that have come from like players that are fighting like Penguins versus ES kind of idea, like people that you think were like mortal enemies, like ES and SKN, and they're all joining, like how I showed Queen and some other SKN members are coming over here, and it's like honestly, and for me, I have no issue with ES, but I'll get into that in a little bit in the video. That'll be the second part to this video. So we'll just try and stay on topic. Stay on topic, Atlas. So this is about Mattis Max, and so okay, we're trying to deal with Roots of War. So I quickly took over Roots of War and doing the planning for Roots of War. So we are planning on losing. So we have higher power on both of these. We do have higher power. I was expecting to lose both of these. Maybe matchmaking. Maybe we can go undefeated with Vex. I was expecting to lose these. I quickly put myself in charge of Team 2. And I'll get to why this is involved with Max in a second here. But I'm trying to add players, and I'm like, I only have a few hours to make up the teams for tomorrow. And there is what's going on, and what's been going on for a long time is the Roots of War League. Now, every time you're locked in, you can't participate in Roots of War. But you can leave the team, migrate, and then participate in Roots of War. And people are like, no, you can't. Yes, you can, because I left SKN and participated in the last Roots of War for 646. So you can participate, and what we're trying to do was we're trying to get everyone from 649 off of the Roots of War League. That was one thing that was kind of looked with all of the excitement that happened. Not that big of a deal. As soon as they lose their first match, then they will be kicked with the migration. So we're fine. We're still chilling. It just means that they couldn't participate. What we're trying to do is have them be able to participate tomorrow rather than in 2 weeks from now. Yes, so that's where Cobart kind of comes in, and he gave Max R5 last night, because we're a council, they're constantly switching R5, and so Cobart's like, hey man, I need to deal with Roots of War. Can you make me R5 so I can kick people from the team, and then Atlas can add them to the Roots of War, kick them from the Roots of War League, so Atlas can add them to the Roots of War League for September 27th, and then we could have built like 3 teams. And that's when I have several screenshots lined up here. So may I have the R5 back, please? But he got demoted as well. And then that's when Max called him a pathetic lowlife, honestly. Like, this is totally out of the blue. Actually, Cobart was in on Max's side for the whole disagreement between him and Runs. Cobart was defending Max the entire time, and then he just comes out and does this. So this goes on more. There's way more screenshots of this, and Max just absolutely devolving like that, which is really sad to see. It's very sad to see. And then he says, "You abandoned this server. Now get out." What do you mean we abandoned the server? Like, Max is the one who set up and was the spearhead for 646, and now we're all traitors for going to 646. I mean, Max is the one who sent me to 646. What are you saying? Like, this is why it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I'm missing a piece of the puzzle. So I have no idea. Do I have... How far down are you? Is there anything else? Nope. Wasn't that chat. There's something else that I wanted to show between Max and them. But yeah, so then you can see here, Mattis Max removed. So Cobart is obviously there's just the one extra T. This is his second account, you know, just his farm account there. So we're like, so all this kind of hit us out of the blue, and those two were really good friends. They used to talk all the time, so I know he's feeling it. He's feeling it like the loss of a friend that way. Like, this doesn't make sense. So... So yeah, it's at one point we're really excited about Vex. I mean, we're doing great. We're doing great so far. Management's doing great. All of our players are getting along. All that's kind of happening. So now, what is the plan for... Oh, I got one more screenshot to show. So this is a screenshot from, you know, Divi being super nice, everything from that. And he goes, "You're both pathetic. Honestly, did not expect this from you. Pretenders. I wonder what makes humans behave this way. I will always be wondering. Goodbye. Please don't bother responding." I know, like, Divi spent 3 hours yesterday on a phone call with him to try and fix the whole drama that's happening between him and Runs, and then this is how he's going off treating people. So I don't know if this is something happening in his regular life. Like I said, he's never been rude with me, and he's helped me quite a bit in the past. This is very off character from him, but then I guess, how well do you truly know somebody? So yeah. Ah, boy. Yeah, it's just, it's not a good situation. It's not a good start to 646. Of course, there's going to be hiccups. There's going to be bumps. As long as, you know, everything else is running smoothly. We've got a new Discord that's up. You know, we've got management is working very well together. There's a lot of communication, which I love. There's two kind of ways to run all of this kind of stuff for, you know, the High King, and that's, you know, you have a dictator, and then you have a council. Those are, you know, two kind of core ideas, core principles that people run the game with. I like the council because it kind of keeps you in the loop. You know, there's a nice conversation there. And then, you know, even though there's a council, we can still have, you know, so Divi, if they need to make a snap decision, they can make a snap decision, and then we can talk about it and deal with it later. I mean, a dictator can just make those snap decisions, right? So, but yeah. I mean, with migration, you can see we're already at 710 out of 800. Now, apparently what I've been told is as soon as we go into SOS, this is going to be my very first SOS, right? So at this point in time, I'm a brand new player as well. So, yeah, our migration score is 710 out of 800 already, and then we go into special migration, but then also when SOS opens up, apparently we go to 4,000 rather than 800 points. So we still have 166 spots. We have many players that are still trying to get in. So, yeah, just we're going strong for migration. So, yeah, That's that part, and then I'll get to the second part with, let's go to Athena. I think I have it pinned here. Where did I put it? There we go. Yeah. So, yeah, what should have happened is SKN and Penguins, I mean, they should have come up this way and protected the bridge, but looks like ES from 61 is going to win this, which my issue with ES and 661 was with Akashi and Tanky, and that's just because they lied to me about burning cities when they promised they weren't going to. So that's where my bad blood kind of came from 6-1. So now that I haven't seen either of them in the alliance, so now that both of them are gone, I don't have any issue with any other ES members. I mean, some of them might have an issue with me, but I don't have an issue with any of them that I'm aware of. I mean, some of them might be upset with me for talking a bit of smack. I totally get that. So, even Bren and I talk off and on at times. So really good for them. It looks like they're going to win the server now. So what ended up happening is they came down first. Yes, came down like this with their main alliance, and then they had an alliance fortress here, and the Penguins were able to burn it. And then they came through here with their farm alliance as EE. Fluffy Pink Duck still out there. So they came out as their farm alliance, and now they've got two alliance fortresses here protecting the dragons. So they were able to cut in here, cut down on this bridge here, and build over. They ended up pushing SKN out. So, yeah, so they've pushed SKN back here. And now they've, as you can see, so they are looking to win the server, and part of that is we ended up snagging quite a few penguins, and we might snag some more after the season ends. Which I didn't know they were going to migrate so quickly, but they did. I mean, they still got 193 players here, but as soon as yesterday's migration opened, we got a few of them, and then it looks like they just got pushed back. So I'm assuming Inversion, their R5, is absolutely upset with us. So as far as I know right now about like where's Max going in the future, so there's been a few things. So Coda members that are upset with what happened with them and 649 have apparently gotten R5 of 668. So if you remember an old video of mine of the double betrayal video of Luna and Ninja, Ninja was the R5 of 668. So apparently Coda's got R5 of that. So they're either planning, so the rest of the penguins that don't merge with us, apparently some of them are going to go with Coda to 668, or the other plan is they're trying to all merge with a new server, like how we did with Vex, and one of them is 652 has been what they've been looking at. So that's what it looks like Inversion's doing, is he's going to be joining with Max next season. So they're either going to fight us or they're going to try and go to 668 and then, I don't know, fight us in SOS 2. And then I guess Max will try and use his connections from earlier servers to try and, you know, undermine us and come get his revenge, which I don't get what the whole big drama and issue is even about, right? I'm not privy to that knowledge, so I mean, I hope the guy does well. I have no issue with him. Like I said, he's helped me develop my account and everything like that. But it looks like what they're trying to do is for everyone that's in our SOS next season, they're going to try and get all of them versus us. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. I don't know where everything's gonna go, but what we've talked about, what we talked about with management, what we talked about with what's even going out to the players is let's just focus on the next SOS. Let's not worry about SOS 2 or 3 or whatever. Let's just worry about next season. Let's worry about getting organized. Let's worry about making sure we're 100% solid. We are a unified front. Let's work on our road teams. Let's work on just all the little stuff that has to get done, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so it's kind of a we've got somber moments where it's like, oh geez, just more drama. Like even I got on a phone call with Divi this morning and she was like, I know you're gonna be upset with me. Don't be upset with me. Like I promised you that there was no drama between any of the management, and day one there's drama with the management. She's like, you're gonna be so angry with me, and I was like, no, it's fine. And like I said, all of us, our fours and our fives, we're on a or most of us, like 90% of us, this afternoon for a few hours. So we are solid in our communication and all that kind of stuff, which is nice. I even I even kept bringing up, and I brought this up with a few private calls that I had, like one with Divi and Cody, one with Runs, and I'm like, I don't even know why I'm R4, and Runs had the best answer of it all. He's like, "'Cause you're Atlas." All right, I can't argue with that. So yeah, hopefully this is gonna be the last of a bit of the drama for a while. Like all of our players are chatting. It's been great. I saw Queen even earlier in the chat was like, dude, this chat's been so healthy. Like it's such a nice flip. So I don't know what's going to happen with SOS, but right now we're just focusing on us, focusing on everything internally, getting all that stuff. Anyone knows me, and like anyone's played with me knows that I love my Mana Stone chats. That is like my main chat, and I am like, I do Mana Stones. That's what I do daily. I go around and I kill Dragon. I kill all of them looking for my Mana Stones. So I take the nightly Mana Stone watch and then maybe help with getting some chats or something like that. But so it's great. It's great having an alliance where I can just spam them with Mana Stone locations. So yeah, so we're both super excited. We're super excited about the future for 646. We're super excited about tomorrow. We're super excited about row. Like I said, I'm not expecting to win any of the rows. We are expecting to lose because most of the players I slotted into a team, and like I haven't. I'm like, rows in 11 hours. Like, good luck, guys. It's like 12 hours till a row. Like, I can't, you know, everyone's kind of going to be blindsided by it. So we'll see how many people show up for participation. It'd be really sweet if we got 2 victories, but I won't hold my breath for that. I am expecting 2 losses to start off with just because of course, there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be pains with, the big migration. We've all been excited, so a few little things have been getting missed. So we need to just go back and, make sure all of our I's are dotted and T's are crossed. That's the saying. So, yeah. What's going to happen from here? Do we have a mortal enemy already? I don't know. Regardless of what Max said to Colbert, and it was not nice. There was way more screenshots than that than what I shared. Regardless of what he's saying, I do hope the guy does well. This is just a game, and even I had some phone calls with him, and I thought him and I had a pretty strong relationship. Like I thought he was extremely charismatic, and so it's quite somber for us. I don't know how to process and think about all of this right now. So basically, our next focus is just to turn internally and getting everything else done and prepped. I mean, we all got heights of power, so from 641 to 648, we're going to be competing with for this. So I've already showed this, but we got the 2 skins. Now that I figured out where the button is, stupid me clicking down here. So this is absolutely sick, this Dark Tides. So that's just my main focus right now, is getting prepped for that, and we'll see if I push for it. It might be at the exact same time as Strongest Lord, So I might push for it, actually, just to get some more Tohars. It'd be nice to get some more Tohars. I need to work on him. He's 5211 right now, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. So, I've rambled long enough.
Race of the fallen, Race of the fallen, Race of the fallen.